Happy Monday. Welcome
Hi,
to
Jen.
Sunshine State. Hi. Welcome to Sunshine State Race and Recap, our wonderful Monday show. I have a guest co-host tonight, Mr. Brandon Martin. You guys don't know. He is our behind the scenes guy. I have to beg him to come on camera with me, but Robert was having some technical issues and I wasn't all in about doing it myself. So yeah, I drug Brandon on, but he does all the hard work behind the scenes and keeps us flowing and tests out all the equipment and does all the hard stuff while we just get to sit here and chat.
Well, y'all got to be nice because I'm still doing all the hard stuff. So all the mouse clicks and background noise you hear is me running the show while I
That's
while I
fine.
attempt to talk. So y'all be nice to me, and everybody message Robert and beat him over the head because today he decided that technology was hard. So oh well, we're here, and I'm excited for this show.
Me too. So let's get in. Hey to all of our Facebook followers. Ralph Goddard's watching. My buddy Tony from Concord, Alabama. Anthony Suggs, can't wait for Scooby. Hope he behaves. Us too. My buddy Josh Gorniak's watching. He's going to be racing down at 417 this weekend. Charlie Bailey's on. David Anthony Goodyear. The Goodyears at Moonshiners inside the infield at Carteret County Speedway, North Carolina. Hello, racers and fans. Mr. Joe Gentry's watching. We'll be talking about what's racing coming up at their track this weekend. Our favorite person, Candace Connors Keeley, CCK Financial Group. Hey, guys. So thanks to everyone for tuning in, as always, tolerating us for an hour on Monday. It sure was good to be at Citrus Friday night for practice. I got bored, decided to go over there after work, and got the video and kind of chat with the fans for a little bit because I've missed them so much, and I cannot wait to get back to a track and be able to video and hang out with everyone.
We got to get you going back live. Like when we're not doing our big broadcasts, we got to get back to where you head to some random track on a cell phone and blow Facebook up. It
That's
it's
the
gonna
goal.
be fun. I'm excited for
Yeah,
when now that the Speed Weeks is over and all the big boys have left Florida, we get to go back and play in our little playground without too much competition. So we'll be able to do things like that again, and I'm ready to go for this year. This is going to be a big year for us.
absolutely. And Corey Bigley's watching. He said he'll be racing at 417 this weekend. So I'm so excited to see my Bigleys and all my people down at 417. I've missed you guys. So big news on Sunshine State Racing, Karnac, Black Sails coming out today. Way to start a Monday. So if
Right.
you haven't read the post, no more dropping hints. Jake Wilson will be joining us and has joined us on Sunshine State Racing. He's going to be on board with a lot of our broadcasts, doing the announcings, and he'll also be on here and there when he has time on our Monday show. So looking forward to that. He's amazing at what he does. We work really hard to only add people to our group that have the same passion and love for the sport that we do. Um, and we couldn't have picked anyone better than Jake Wilson to join us.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. The first time we had Jake on was Governor's Cup. He came
Right?
over to New Smyrna and helped us out there, and he meshed instantly. It was absolutely wonderful. I think it was great to have somebody else to ping off of you, because you got somebody to banter with instead of just having to sit there and talk for an hour. And it was fun to watch. And I mean, Jake knows his stuff. He's done this for a long time. He's a professional at this, and I am excited to get him into our team and bring him into the broadcast.
Me too. Me too. So excited to have him join us. We love working with him. We've been able to work with him for a few races, like you said, Governor's Cup. And then down at, what was it, 417, he joined us. So, yeah, super excited to see what's coming on, or what's coming up for us this year. So, we'll get into a little bit of that later. Scott Finch says, "Hey guys, I'll be at 417 this weekend. Um, Looking to be back out to race in street stocks around August. My girl Ashley's tuned in. Hello." So we went to Citrus Friday for practice. Of course, most of places that I wanted to go to Saturday got rained out, or we thought they were going to get rained out. Citrus ended up canceling. We went to East Bay for World of Outlaws on Saturday. Let me tell you, that was amazing. That was a super exciting show. That place was slam packed. You can tell that fans have been waiting on that for a very long time. I think they said the last time World Outlaws had been there was 1983. So, yeah, we had a blast. Really good racing, edge of your seat, good to go. What'd you do last weekend, Brandon?
You know, so I've started working with Flow Racing a lot. So when I'm not hanging out with you down at tracks at 417 and doing our Florida thing, I've been pinging around dirt tracks, which is the funniest thing because I'm an asphalt guy in the dirt world. It's dirty. All my equipment gets dirty. It's nowhere near as fun. Uh, but I feel you on the Word of Outlaws because I've got to film them a couple of times. And if you thought filming asphalt late models were hard, good luck. I went
Yeah,
and watched those guys at the Gap, and trying to keep up with them is insane. And I swear they don't lift. Uh,
I
it's
agree.
fun to watch.
The 83 was running the high side the whole time. Ashley just said the 83 was digging. I mean, never, never slowed down. Candace commented the flat tracks at VSP were crazy tonight. They race again tomorrow. David Showers Jr. won the Harvest 100 at Alltech. Um, Speaking of Candace, Dirts for Racing is kicking off full force.
Yeah.
The Zone Total Car Care presents one more for Turbo at Hendry Motorsports Park down in Clewiston, March 19th and 20th. We'll be sharing the flyer a lot. There's a ton of good racing. Thursday is practice, Friday is heat races, Saturday is 2,600 to win, street stock, V8 Warriors, Florida late models, Gladiators, and 4.6 Fords. You know, 4.6 Fords have been one of my favorite classes to watch. So that's going to be an awesome weekend. So make sure to make your way down there, if you're in the area or if you just want to go racing. I'm trying to get to more dirt racing this year. It's been a lot of fun. I'm kind of getting hooked, I have to admit.
You, if we start doing dirt racing, you're cleaning the equipment.
All
we're
right.
gonna we're gonna
All right.
start running through cameras. I feel for John Horn. I don't know how he keeps his stuff clean. It takes me
I know.
3 days to get all the dirt out of the lenses and stuff whenever we go to a dirt track.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I'll do it from my cell phone.
There you go.
Um,
Perfect.
I've been sharing a flyer also from 417 Southern Speedway because this Saturday, March 13th, they're having Sportsman 75, Pro Truck 50, V8 Pure Stock 25, Mod Minis, and Outlaw Modifieds. So I haven't been able to visit with my buddies a lot down at 417, and I'm so excited to get back down there.
Well, we're gonna be spending some time down there this year. Um, with everything that's gone on and all the madness that's happened behind the scenes, it's going to end up we're going to spend a whole bunch of time at 417, and we're going to make sure that you don't miss a lap from those guys. I'm pretty sure every big event that they have is going to be live on Sunshine State Racing, and I am so excited. It's nice to have a track that we can work with like that, and Lester's killing me right now. He's Lester is sitting in the multi-viewer below because he's next, and if any of you can imagine what Lester is doing to keep me laughing like this, you're probably right. Um, but
Well,
yeah, no,
do
we're
we?
we're gonna be at 417 a ton, and
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Quentin jumped on. He said, I'll be racing at Hendry for the big street stock race. Neil says 4.6 at 417 was rad this past winter. Yeah, it was. Like, I can't wait to see Ford Outlaws back at 417. They put on a show. It was so much fun to watch. My buddy Dennis is on. He takes some of the best pictures. He does such a good job helping us promote all these racing. He'll be down at 417 with us again Saturday. And I don't know about you, but you ready for the first caution so we can get Jason out of your face?
He's gonna make me cry laughing if we don't. But yeah, let's roll because he is
All
sitting
right,
in
we're
and
ready.
ready to go. So yeah, with that, we're gonna take our first caution, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds.
All righty.
With 24 flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, HTO keeps you cool. So, what's your flavor?
And we are back, and Lord help us with this next one. I've I didn't have to threaten his life. I just asked nicely. Make sure you keep it kind of PG-13. I'm not going to read Devin's comment, but if you guys read that, just to let you know, my nephew repeated that one day, and I was like, "Where did he get that?" And I had to go back and watch it. So yeah, I think we're ready for our first guest. What you think, Brandon?
I think we're ready for our first guest. I just don't know if we're ready for this first guest. So, without
Yeah.
hesitating anymore, because he's going to make me cry laughing here in a second, this is what I've been staring at for the last 10 minutes. Mr.
All
Jason
right.
Lester, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
For some reason, I told him that I could see him without him being on screen. And I looked down at one point while we're doing our first segment, and this is what I see. So, in my defense
That's
and
great.
laughing, I've been staring at him in a head costume for the last 10 minutes.
I knew it would be something. I just wasn't exactly sure what. It has to be hot in there, though.
All right, listen. So I got my dickhead with me today. So he'll be the dick, and I won't be.
Okay.
So, explain the shirt, first things first, because you made that like in the last hour, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I did.
Oh, Lord. Well,
Kim said, "Yeah, that's my boyfriend." Oh my god.
Kim, I'm sorry. You chose him. Like, we got him by force. You chose him. So let's get into the racing. Obviously, you've done a lot in the last few months. You've moved up from the trucks in what some people would say is the fastest skyrocket we've seen a driver come up. And what's been impressive is you hasn't just moved up through the ranks, but you've moved up through the ranks and still finished up front. There's been no learning curve. So talk to us for a second and tell us what it's been like going from trucks to sportsman to super so fast.
It's crazy. I mean, I never thought that I'd ever end up in a super. I've always wanted to. I mean, Jen will tell you. I've been friends with her forever, and I told her one day I'm going to get in one, and it finally came all together. And it's crazy because I got to thank Nick Manful for making it all happen. Just a lot of, bull crapping around and just joking around had led to something with Dennis Dean and Anthony Sergi to get me inside that thing. But it gives you more respect for driving a truck and a sportsman, because to me, going from a super it's so much easier to me. Yes, it's a lot more motor, but if you have a good right foot, which I did for about 98 laps, almost 99 laps, but it gives you more respect for actually driving a truck and sportsman, because you have to hustle those things around the track. I mean, you rely on that 10-inch tire and a good car to get you around in a super late model. But it's been very emotional going from how fast I've done this. But, honestly, you can do it. Anybody can do it. You just got to have faith and just do it. And that's what I've done. I just decided to take the leap and try it, and here I am.
So
And I have to say,
go ahead, Jen.
go ahead. I have to say, I feel like you're at a good place to do it now. We've discussed it for years. I think if you would have jumped into it back then when you were a lot crazier, a lot less settled, that it probably wouldn't have ended up as well. But I feel like you respect your equipment a lot more now than when you first started. And you've improved so much about taking care of your equipment and being respectful on and off the track. And I feel like that's showing in your results with the late model.
100%. I felt like, when I stopped throwing tantrums and acting like a wild man, and I sat back and I really looked at, I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm too old. I'll never go anywhere in this sport as far as NASCAR, which I wouldn't want to race NASCAR, but I looked at it as, I guess you could say, it didn't matter what I did. The consequences are always the same. So I looked at it as, if I get tore up, I get wrecked, I go home, I work on it, and I come back the next week. And it led me to winning all my truck races. It led me to the sportsman, to getting wins in that, and just being patient. I mean, sometimes patient runs out. You forget about all that, and you're in the moment. But, I mean, yes, 100%. The attitude and my outlook on racing now has totally got me to where I'm at now. Absolutely.
So you mentioned your lead foot. Um, uh, I kind of showed you the videos earlier because I like to bring these videos up and have drivers kind of talk through what they're seeing and what they were thinking at the moment. And I'm going to do this in reverse order, and we're going to start towards the end of the race so we can get through making fun of you first because that's what we do best. So this is the last restart. You're starting in third, and you had a really good turn, and it looked like you had a good shot. And let's explain like what happened and what you were thinking through the process.
Oh boy, you had to start with this, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm in third and try to get a good restart. I knew I had good roll. I could roll the car through the center. So I knew if I got to his bumper and moved him up a little bit, I could get up underneath him, which is what I do. And this is where I step on my dick, right there. So, yeah, I pissed away 10 grand. But, you know, it's my second race. And I talked to Dennis today about it. And I said, you know, I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt because in a sportsman truck, you could just mat the gas. And if you have a setup in a good right rear setup, you can mat the gas and it'll plant and go. Well, it doesn't work like that in a super because obviously you have 650 horsepower underneath you. But I saw $10,000 and I stepped on it, literally.
I mean, I can't say I would have done the same thing.
Right.
It's a learning curve. And Dennis said today, sometimes it takes that to move forward and win races. So it just wasn't my time to win yet. I didn't have a car. It wasn't fast. Obviously, we made some changes, and we found another issue today, but I didn't have the fastest car. But sometimes it takes being there at the end and keeping the nose clean, which Jen noted earlier. I wasn't good at that a couple years ago. I always try to get to the front, and I turn my stuff up. But I stayed out of trouble, and I was there at the end, and that's all that mattered.
Yeah, and speaking of keeping your nose clean, right? So we've got a couple other clips, and we'll go in order this time, buddy.
These are good ones, though.
Yeah, these are solid ones.
They are.
This is impressive. So the next one is we'll start with the first wreck, the first restart madness, where George kind of lost it in full send mode, which again, I mean, I would have done the same thing. So talk us through what was going through your head here.
So obviously George gets in a little hot and he's chasing it. And he chases it even more, gets in the door, and I took flight. But things happen so much faster in a super. By the time you can't just check up because then you get ran over. So I was trying to go low, but Pate was down there. So it took us 4 wide. So I had nowhere to go. So I just stayed straight, thank God, because I took flight, but I also landed straight down. So it didn't really mess a lot up as far as finishing the race. It tore up a little bit of the suspension stuff, but I was able to obviously finish the race. So, but at that moment, you just hold on and hope you don't get ran over from behind. And luckily we didn't. So,
well, I think that's what was impressive to us is you got 2 tires in the air in a super, which those things aren't exactly rugged like you would with a truck, right? You know, we beat the hell out of the trucks and they're meant to do it. Supers aren't like that.
Correct.
So so nothing really crazy bent when it came down. I thought for sure that you'd have toe all kinds of screwed up and you were just holding on for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it didn't knock the toe out neither. And I mean, Dennis had me going back and forth really hard to see if it was hitting the ground. Nothing hit. I mean, later on after the race, we came in and it had cracked the right front upper a little bit where it's welded to the mount. And then it, I think the motor came down and slapped the rack, but it came back up. So there's a little bit of damage, but not enough that actually, thank God, didn't keep us from finishing that race. Like half the front of the field was done, destroyed their stuff.
Yeah, those cars were destroyed. And at that point, do you remember how many laps were left?
2.
See, so at least you were able, unlike half the field, you were able to continue on and keep it on all fours for the rest of the race. I think we have one more clip, and when we watch that, I just want to give a huge shout out to our GoPro guys. They give these fans and drivers a totally different perspective because it happens so quick in the heat of the moment that I don't even think a lot of times the drivers can remember what happened in front of them or what happened behind them or around them. So it's pretty cool for our GoPro guys to catch moments like this that we can go back and watch and learn from, and drivers can take a look at and be like, wow, I did a great job missing that. I really did a good job not getting into him, or whatever the case may be. So shout out to them guys. They worked their butts off.
From the driver's side, it's much more fun when you go, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, that was so stupid. They're much more fun to watch.
Well, the next clip you show, it's yes, I was driving, but you don't realize how close it really was until he sent me the video Saturday night after the race, and I was just like, I don't know how I dodged it, but then again, a good race car driver will dodge wrecks, and you do. I mean, Devin's done it, LJ's done it, Nassie's done it, but a good reaction from a good race car driver is what helps you get through that kind of stuff.
And
Dennis Dean just commented, gonna need some new motor mounts.
He's gonna start finding broken stuff now and just sending you the bill.
Yeah,
that's all right.
But yeah, the next clip that we've alluded to is the second to last restart with Nassie and Atwell getting into it. Man, it's not very often that I'll say this, but I felt so bad for Nassie. That guy had this race won, and then everybody else made sure that he didn't. But coming again, looking at it from your perspective, where you're starting outside second row, talk us through what was going through your mind and what maybe wasn't going through your mind for that case.
Well, coming to the restart, I just want to make sure I didn't hit Nassie. I didn't want to get him upset, so I kind of laid back. I rolled the outside good. He kind of got sideways coming up out of two because he hit that hump. So I checked up, and he just looked like he was struggling to roll the outside right here. So he had – to me, I mean, it's just a racing deal. He tried to throw it in there, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was the last lap. It was coming to checkers. It was either checkers or wreckers. But that right there, if it wasn't for double piston brakes, I was total. I would have hit Atwell straight on. But it's just a racing incident. I mean, if you're a Nassie spot, it's 10,000. If you're an Atwell spot, it's 10,000. Atwell gave him just enough room as he needed, and Atwell ended up going on to win the race. Nassie actually tapped out.
Yeah, and he did, and I was impressed with that.
Yep.
He's a better man than me. I wouldn't have tapped out even if it was my fault. We're both going to the back. but
he drove in there. I mean, he did drive in there. I mean, he was a good half a car length back when Atwell was going to the corner, and he threw it in there. But if you're Nassie, you do that because, one, you're leading the points, not by much, but you're trying to win it all. I mean, I get it, but for him, tapping was actually a class act move. Classy Nassie.
Classy Nassie definitely showed up.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, he's been second place how many times in the past couple months at Showtime? I mean, I don't blame him for going for it. I would have done the same. It's great to see Michael Atwell win, but I don't blame either one of them for racing hard with that many laps to go and, putting on a show for the fans.
I don't think you can show me a race car driver with 10 grand on the line that wouldn't have thrown it in there. And Nassie wasn't the only one that made a mistake at the end, right? I mean, a certain driver spun his tires. Another driver threw it into one and got a little loose. Like, everybody was gunning for it, which is what makes it so much fun to watch.
I mean, realistically, I was underneath Atwell coming out of 4 with a bump and run, and we would have went into 1. I would have ran him high. I mean, that's 10,000. But I told him that on the front stretch. I would have ran him high. I didn't try to spin him. I just tried to get him to chase it, which he did, and it got him up off the bump in the 3 and 4. So that's why I was able to get there. And then, I don't know what happened after that.
Well, I have a couple points. I have a lot of respect for Anthony Sergi, the way he races. I've really enjoyed watching him down here in Florida, and for as long as I can remember, Dennis Dean's always been his right-hand man, the one that is on the radio, the one that's helping on the cars, the one that works in the shop. And I think you picked a really good group to work with, because seeing how Sergi has always raced, I think them working with you is going to make you even better as a driver in a late model, because they are really good at that. I mean, they're really good at talking you through things, and just seeing Sergi improve through the years, I think it's going to be really good for you.
I do too. Dennis is really good with me, and the way I guess you could say, like practice Friday night, we were fast. I mean, we were stupid fast. So we tried something new, and it was good on old tires, so we kept it the same. And then Saturday came, and it wasn't as fast, but it was consistent. But we never did a long run. Try to see our speed on the long run, but it ended up fading away a little bit. But I think a lot had to do with the track bar coming down a little bit too during the race. But Dennis he critiques himself a lot, even after the race. Citrus County, I mean, we ran great. Got in a little altercation mix up with the 55, but that's racing. But even if we finish second, he still critiques himself, and which makes him even better. He's smart. I give him great feedback, and we get better and better every time we do it. So it's a great bunch of guys. I appreciate the opportunity to get him one finally. I finally did it, but I would have loved to got that win, though. It would have been nice.
Right.
Right.
But Dennis is a one-man show, it feels like. He's in the shop by himself. Like right now, he's getting ready for the Rattler. You know, we all leave on Thursday morning to get up there, and I'll be testing the car Thursday for Sergi because he won't make it down until midnight. So we'll be there all day Thursday getting it ready for him. So, but it's cool to get on this side of it, on both sides, driver side and shop side, and see what all goes into a late model. And I can tell you this, it is a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't lying.
And I feel like it gives you a better respect for the car when you see that it is a full-time job.
It is.
I think it gives 90% of drivers. Yeah.
Yes. It gives, I have respect for Devin and LJ and all them, and Daniel Webster, but you don't realize when it's a one-man show and you're doing it by yourself. I think Devin and his dad work on the late model. That's it. And they do it all by themselves. But Dennis is in there alone, and it blows my mind to how smart he is, and then he takes everything to the track, and we have people at the track, but it's up to him to whatever happens. And it's crazy because I like the truck. I never had to tune the truck at the track. I mean, maybe sway bar. I mean, Brandon could tell you. I mean, well, Brandon can't tell you, but sway bar maybe a little. But jumping to the sportsman, and when I was with Boyd, it's like every time you go out, there's another adjustment on either the right rear or the trailer arms or something, and I'm just not used to it. But supers are way more. I mean, you're taking shocks off, and you're doing shocks in the trailer, putting it back on. It's a lot, and it gives me more respect for all the late model drivers out there, and all the guys that work, like Chris Cater. He works on like 11 of these things all by himself in the shop with Cody. That's it. But it's crazy.
It's a lot. So, what are your plans for the rest of 2021?
I'm not sure. The Sportsman's for sale. I don't want to drive that thing no more. I don't even care to have it. I've had a lot of opportunities come to me since Citrus, especially after Showtime. I've had some calls. Nothing in the works yet. I'm still trying to work everything out with the Sergi group and see what we're going to do. We'll find out this weekend. All else fails, I have other opportunities. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. I like the Sergi crew. They treat me good. I think we all get along great. My interview wasn't the greatest Saturday night. I kind of got my butt chewed out for it. But, you know, as you guys know, I have a lot of haters. And Yoho is one of them. And we always had our feud. And it's just the way it is. But he says some stuff Saturday that I didn't appreciate. And I thought my interview was appropriate at that time. But after going back and looking at it, it really wasn't. So.
Said every driver ever.
Right.
At the
it takes a big man.
I was fine.
Right. It takes a big man to admit that. And we know, Jason, you're the first one to pop off and say something and then turn around and apologize later. So personally, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you saying what you said. You've had, and I will tell you this, and I told you this after Citrus, you did a really good job at Citrus. You avoided everything that happened directly in front of you. Watching Saturday's replay, you did an amazing job there, and I look forward to seeing what you do coming up in the Super.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll get wins. We will win.
Oh, I know.
It's just like Dennis said, everything has to work out perfect to win, and it does. I suck at qualifying, straight up. I just don't know what it is with qualifying at Showtime. I just can't qualify there. Everywhere else, I'm good. Showtime, I suck.
Well, do you want to
But
thank anyone or sponsors or anything before we wrap it up?
yeah, I want to thank my girlfriend because she's crazy for putting up with me and this addiction that we all love that's worse than drugs. I want to thank the Surgery Group for the opportunity to get the thing, and I want to thank Jason Lester for sponsoring everything.
Alrighty. And do you want to shout out your do you want to shout out your business name?
Yeah, JL Flooring and more. Look us up. Bathroom remodels, kitchens, and all flooring.
Oh, Yoho commented. He said, "Don't worry. I said you did a good job, and after you left, all toolboxes were standing."
Of course.
Oh,
We
this is
have
Yeah,
our feud. We don't hate each other.
I
We
know.
just have our feud. You know, he kept telling me that Bay Flight was on standby Saturday for me, but obviously he got lapped in like 16 laps. But he was just out there for car count. I get it.
no, it was fun to watch.
Well,
Well, I
yeah.
appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you a lot. We're gonna roll out to our next one. So on that, we're gonna roll to our next caution. Lester, thanks again for coming on, man. It's a blast. Always good to have you on.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. And we are back. Well, that was exciting. I have one point. I love when all the fans are on and they're commenting and everything during the show, and we can like read through the comments. But it makes me so excited when our track owners are watching. Like that just makes my day because we're doing this to support all of them.
Yeah, that's something I think that gets lost sometimes is the amount of free promotion, right? We actually Candace reached out earlier and asked how much it would cost to promote one of her races. After we got done laughing, we told her we don't charge to promote races. So
Right?
it's been fun, but yeah, you're right. It is really cool when they tune in. But on that note, so Lester finished second this weekend, and he ran a great race. But if he finished second,
A great
somebody
what?
had to finish first, and somebody's pockets are $10,000 heavier, and it might
Yes.
be Michael Atwell. Michael, how's it going,
Hey,
man?
Michael.
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
So have you come down off the high yet? Like, or are you still like I'm going to Disney World status?
Yeah, we're definitely still going to Disney World right now.
That's awesome, man. No, so you drove a great race. Talk to us a little bit about the race. How the situations that happened that put you in the position you were in. Obviously, the stuff that happened with Nassie. We'd love to hear your point of view of it. Knowing that he tapped out, like what all went through your head in that one. So talk us through it and let us know how you ended up winning.
So obviously we qualified first. We drew a 5 pill, which I'm pretty good at drawing some of the biggest pills out of the box after we qualify good. We started there, kind of got up to third, I thought the car was really good. We were riding, and then the car started to get really tight. So I was just trying to save tires, because when we start putting too much wheel into it in the center of the corner, then we'll burn the right rear off the car getting off. So I was just saving tires, hoping for a late race yellow. Obviously, the late race yellows fell quite heavily at the end there. Um, George lined up on the bottom, I think. He got loose going into one, and I was like, this is our chance if we want to make it happen. So I dove underneath him. Obviously, they ended up tangling up, and we went side by side with Nassie and hit the restart good. Got down to the bottom right where we could get the car to turn, um, and beat him down the back straight away. And then I heard a loud explosion behind my head, and we were doing circles. So I thought for sure we were going to the back. You always, as a driver, like I feel like it doesn't matter where you're at. If you get wrecked, you always, you know, put it back in gear and you pull right back up there like you're gonna get your spot back. In the back of my head, I was like, we're not gonna get our spot back. That was our chance at 10,000. And then I think we paced for like 2 laps, and they finally pointed for me to go back up. I was like, oh, we're not losing this thing now.
Yeah, you talk about
Robert
getting a
Yoho.
second chance. That's the definition of a second chance right there. It's not often
Yeah.
somebody taps out.
No, especially for 10,000 to win. Yoho just commented, hopefully Atwell can loan me some money. Him and Lester took all of his, and his pockets are empty.
I don't know. He might be fixing the car, so I wanted to ask that. I got to watch the race live. Thanks to Speed 51 for covering it, and we sat and watched. And man, you got hit a ton. There is no way you didn't break something.
Yeah, it killed everything on the left side. Door, quarter, all the body braces. Uh, and I mean, we just did preliminary stuff so far, making sure everything was straight in the rear end. Haven't found anything big yet, but we're gonna try and go to the Rattler. But if we got to hang a quarter, we got to hang a door, and we got to leave Wednesday in order to get up there in time to park and all that stuff. So we figured it probably wasn't the smartest idea, seeing that it's such a big race to go there behind the 8 ball to begin with.
Yeah, that's one of those that you want to have all your stuff tucked in nice, neat, and ready to go when you get there. But that was definitely something I wanted to ask, because there's no way after a hit of that magnitude that the car was driving normal. So what
Yeah,
changed
it
after the
killed
hit?
everything. It was, I think the left rear tire was, I mean, just got chewed up so bad, and I don't know if it was losing air, or what, but the car was just super tight after. I mean, obviously there was only 2 laps left, so it wasn't like you were going to notice a huge difference. But the car was so tight in the center of the corner, so it was just manhandling it and trying to get across the checkers first.
And that was my thought. So you and Nasty get together. You've survived the rest of it. You and Nasty get together, and from what I was told, which I was at a dirt track, so this is might be one of the first 10,000 races I've missed, which I'm really disappointed in myself. But when I went back and watched the replay, he had quite a lead. So all this happens, cautions come out, and you think, man, we got a shot at him. You go in the corner, you guys get together, you're driving off. There has to be a thought like, okay, I'm going to the rear, but still there's not that many left. I can make my way back up there. But then you're driving off going, how bad is my car? Because it sounded like an explosion just went off.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the car's rolling and you're not feeling like too much wrong. I mean, we've had like trailing arm or something like that break, then you have a big problem. But as long as it's rolling, it feels pretty good. You kind of just you got to put that out of your head, because you got to go into the next corner thinking that everything's fine, and the car is going to be just the way it was, or else you're not going to be good at all. Um, but yeah, I that was probably, I think, one of the toughest races for Nassi. And like I said before, I mean, I respect him so much more now. I mean, not that I didn't respect him before, but because he has won so many races in the last, 1 or 2 years. I mean, just big name races, going to all of them with the Jet Crew. And for him to tap out and say that was his fault, and then he came over to the trailer too after the race and even told me that he was really sorry, that was all his fault. he had led so many laps, and he was just trying to give it everything he had because he wanted to get the win.
Yeah, that's something
And
I
we,
said a little bit earlier. Is as a
hmm
driver, you rarely say the words "I feel bad for him," but man, I felt bad for him. Watching that race with the lead that he had just gets suddenly erased, and all of a sudden you're sitting on the edge of your seat going, "Oh, it's about to get good." And in true Florida racing fashion, it got good. Um, but but yeah, man, congratulations! That's a huge win, and it was an impressive drive to watch you come through the field and end up the way it did.
Thank you.
So
and
talk to us. Oh, go ahead, Jen.
let's talk for a minute. All of you South Florida boys, you guys are so good about supporting each other and helping each other and working together. So, how much does that mean to you guys when you go to these big races and you and Goddard and Bigley and everyone can kind of bounce ideas off each other? Does it help? Are you more stressed because you're racing your buddies out there?
No, I mean it's not. I'm not. It doesn't make you stressed. I mean, I think we probably all have the same mindset of when you put your helmet on. It's not that you're not gonna like drive somebody with respect, but you have no friends. Like I'm not gonna let him go by if I think he's faster than that. But I mean, we all have a great amount of respect for each other. And just like the first race that Goddard won, we fell out of, we had an issue. Um, and I was right up there against the fence with when he had 5 laps to go, and I was cheering him on. And he said the same thing. The same thing about us winning, and I think it's good. I mean, we're all so far down south that we're on like a little island down there. Um, but it's nice just to be able to talk to people, relate racing wise and stuff like that with them. Yes.
So talk to us about what's coming up for you, right? So after you win the big race, you win the 10 grand, you go to Disney World, high five Mickey. What's next in the upcoming weeks, months for you?
We got 417, 27th is our next race. We're going to try and make as many of the 417 races as we can the rest of the year. We're going to try and make all the Pensacola races before the Derby. And from there, just, I mean, race as much as we can. You know what I mean? I think we're going to try and venture out of the state a little bit, get up into Georgia and stuff like that. But it seems like every time you have a plan ready and in action, you got to figure out how to make it work. But we're definitely trying to go to some bigger races, but also stay local to support all the people that help us back home.
Yeah, we're
And
excited
talk
about the
for a minute.
417 races.
Me too. Talk for a minute about your crew because there's only two or three of you guys that are at the track every weekend, week in, week out.
Yeah, we have my dad, works his butt off. He's 74 years old and he still freaking gets down there and works his tail off every weekend. My car owner, Marty Walsh, is there every weekend, and I'm there every weekend, obviously. So mainly it's us three, and then if a couple more people come, they'll, here and there, but it's not like consistent. The consistent people are my dad, my car owner, and myself.
That's wild.
I've really enjoyed, yeah, it is. I've really enjoyed watching you race, and I know some of these big races, you guys kind of all help each other. Goddard's crew helps you, you know, it's a lot of fun to watch, and you have done such a good job. I'm really excited for you for this 10K.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely a stressful start to the year. I think every February before this for like the last 4 years, we've got a win at Showtime in February. So we got through February, didn't have a win, and I was like, man, we are just not doing well this year so far. We got to get our act together. Um, we just put our head down at the shop, made sure everything was right, went over everything 2 or 3 times, came back to the track, and just kind of cut out everything. I mean, it was the only thing you got to focus on is how the car is driving. We don't need to worry about what anybody else is running for times, and it paid off. So definitely think we still need to work on it a little bit, obviously, because Nasty was 100% the class of the field. But sometimes everything falls into line. You get a little lucky, and I'd rather be lucky than good. So that worked out for us.
Amen to that. It's always better to be lucky.
That luck. That luck got that 10,000 check, so I take it. So do you want
So
to
you
thank your
mentioned the
sponsors?
Derby.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
so I
ahead.
was going to ask you mentioned that you were going up to Five Flags and running all the pre-Derby races. Are you trying to get into the Derby this year?
I think the plan is to go to the Derby this year. Yeah, we've been I think we made it the last 2 years. So we're trying to make it again this year, but have a better run than we've had in the past. And I think that just comes down to laps of the track experience and stuff like that. We've had some bad issues happen, the last couple of years where you don't have any luck. Like we had a pit stop. We passed like 15 cars at a pit stop, and the tire changes that were supposed to be there for the weekend broke two lug nuts in the right rear. So that didn't really help us in that sense. But the I think we just need to go there and really put our heads down the same deal and just work. And obviously, more time on any racetrack makes you better. So that's all we can do.
Jen.
Oh, my turn. So do you have sponsors you want to thank, Michael?
Yeah, my car owners, Marty and Holly Walsh, like I said, everything they do, we couldn't do them without them every week, and I can't thank them enough. And they're definitely the biggest part of our race team. My mom and dad for all their support. My dad works his butt off. He's at the shop every day. Roger and Susan Smith, also a big part of our team. RS Concrete and Construction, Universal Transmissions, Drake Ready Mix for all they do. Mike and Lisa Garvey, as well as Rocket Fabrication and Suspension for all that they've done for us the last race, and Castle Services, everybody that helps out on this team. We couldn't do it without them, and they definitely need to know that we thank them a lot.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you guys. Like I said, you have a very small team, and it's great to see the smaller teams win the big money. So, super excited for you guys. Hope you get time to celebrate and hope to see you at 417 on the 27th. I know we'll be there to support you guys. Huge thanks to Robert Yoho, A, for tuning in, and B, for putting on these big races because it's been a lot of fun to watch.
I absolutely agree. He stepped up to the table, unlike any other promoter owner in the country, and I can't thank him enough for offering us the races. And obviously, we'd like to see a little more fans, more car count. I think that it was definitely an off week with the weather and all that, but he's a hell of a guy for stepping up, and hopefully we can count on that in the future.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for taking time to come on. Congratulations on your win. Congrats to Daniel and Marty and everyone on the team, and we'll be talking to you soon after your next one.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me come on.
Absolutely, man.
Have a good night.
You too.
That was a lot of fun.
That was. It's been a while since I got to jump on with you and talk to the drivers, and it is fun. It's nice to catch up with everybody. I thought that was a
It really
couple of
is.
really good interviews. Buster kept
I agree.
it somewhat PG, maybe PG-13.
I know. I didn't even have to threaten his life. I
You did
only
once, but-
grumbled a couple times.
That's okay.
Make sure you guys go to our page. We've got a list of what's racing this week. Super excited to see everything. Oh, we have one more. We had to talk about TJ DeCare.
That is
He is our
absolutely correct.
Robert's. Yes, Robert's not on this week. So huge shout out to TJ DeCare. He got his first win in the Legend car, I believe, at Arbandale Speedway, Little Gator Motorsports Legend feature winner. Sure, that's only the first of many to come this year. So that's going to be a lot of fun. He is our feel-good story of the week. If you have a feel-good story of the week you want to submit to us, send us a message. Me, Brandon, Robert, and of course Jake. While we're talking about feel-good, huge thanks to all of our GoPro guys. Those guys kill it. And the footage they put out week in and week out, we couldn't do it without him. Like, that is so much fun to go back and watch their videos. And they work their tails off. So huge thanks to them.
Those guys are brave. those GoPros are not cheap. And when Braden started putting it under the bumper cover, I told him at Speed Weeks, I'm like, dude, you're nuts. There's one of these days that camera's not coming back.
I know. I know. So yeah, huge thanks to our guys. We couldn't do it without them. We're so excited to have Jake jumping on for some of our broadcasts and podcasts. And huge thanks to our track owners for tuning in. And I can't wait to be at 417 this weekend with my buddies.
Absolutely. And for those wondering, the next big broadcast is going to be March 27th. We'll be down at 417 with the Supers. We're going to be spending a lot of time down there this year, making sure you don't miss anything. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the show. So thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been fun. We're going to go head out. Unfortunately, there's no Lightning game on tonight, so we can't run away. But yeah, see y'all next week.
See you next week.